What is up, guys? Nams here from Sorry Zombies. So today I want to show you a pretty cool feature that we've added to all of our servers, which is the ability to import and export your base. Now, well, that could be just to copy and paste it somewhere else on the map, or it could be to import and export it into the new map on a new map when we reset our servers. Now, this is a pretty cool feature if you've got an elaborate base, something spectacular build that you're working on, unlike my little hobo shack here, then you can continue to build and progress with it from one wipe to another. And what I really like about this feature is that it's just two simple commands that you can do by yourself. No need for an admin or a moderator to come in and copy your base and have the files downloaded and into the server's local prefab folder and all this stuff. It's all done automatically for you with literally two commands, almost like copy and paste. However, there are some things that you should be aware of before you do it. So firstly, one is when you do the command, you have to be standing on the LAN claim block, and it will copy the base from where you're standing. Because when you paste it in, you'll throw a LAN claim block down, you'll stand on that new LAN claim block, and then you will use the import command to bring your base from one location to the other. So you want to make sure where your LAN claim block is, the depth of it. So for example, in my little underground bedroom here, the floor would technically be 1 block, and then let's measure the wall, so that'd be 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the ceiling is 6. So my base technically is 6 blocks deep because that's where my LAN claim block is. So I'm going to have to remember that when I come to importing it. The other thing I want to take note of is the direction in which my base faces. So my front door actually faces out towards the east. So when I paste it in and I want the front of my base to face in another direction, say west, north, or south, I'd have to know where it was facing when I first copied it in order to know how much I need to rotate it by. And then the third and final thing you need to know is that when you do the base design, it only copies and pastes what's inside your LAN claim block, including the height. So for example, nothing above these green lines will get copied. So if you've got a skyscraper, you need more than one LAN claim block. And if you've got a really deep underground base, then anything below this green line will not be copied. You need a second or third LAN claim block if you built something down to bedrock. Now I will show you at the end of the video how to do an import and export of a base using multiple LAN claim blocks. But for now, let me just show you something simple, just copying in this one little LAN claim block hobo shack that I've made. So first things first, direction is east, the depth was 6 blocks, and as I said before, you've got to be standing on your LAN claim block to make the command work. And the command is simple. You just press T to open up the chat and you type in base export, and then you want to give it a name. So I'm just going to go with numbers. I'm going to say base export 1. And it shouldn't take long to save it all. Our little bot Jarvis is going to tick away. He's going to save the base. Base 1 has been exported successfully. So now all I'm going to do is try and find a space where I want to export or move my base. Okay, so I found a nice flat area for me to import my base in the snow biome. So first I get my LAN claim block out and I try and measure using these white guidelines here as to where it's going to be imported. So I think here, maybe a little bit closer to the road would be cool. Let's go a little bit further in. Yeah, about there. And then you also got to remember it's 6 blocks deep because that's where my LAN claim block it was when I did the save. So I'm going to use the admin gun, but obviously you'd use an auger or something. And you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm 6 blocks deep, and then I'm going to throw down the LAN claim block. And you also got to notice that I am facing west. Now I want my base to face the road, obviously. And I did note down that my base prior was facing east, which is a complete opposite direction. I don't want my front door to be facing out there. I want it to face the road. So when I import the base, I have to keep that in mind, and I'll show you how to add rotation to the import. So I'm standing on the LAN claim block and I do the T to get the chat up, and I'm going to do a command which is just base import as one word, same as the base export was one word, the name of the base in which I saved it, which was the number 1, and then the rotation in degrees in which I want to rotate it. So it was facing east. If I was to make it face west, that would be a complete 180-degree rotation. So that's what I'm going to type afterwards, 180. So again, base import, the name of the base, which I just called number 1, and the rotation is 180. Press enter, and it shouldn't take too long for it to import the base, and hopefully I've done it right. Okay, so here we are. Now it puts the land claim block back into your inventory once the command has been complete. So I'm just going to go have a look. Did I do it right? I did. So you can see that my base is flush with the ground. So I did the height right, and am I facing the right location because I'm facing west and I wanted my front door to face the road. So it's as simple as that. Now you're probably wondering what gets imported or what gets saved and copy pasted. Well, as you notice, my super bike, the one that had the flames on it, didn't come with it. And also none of the items come with it either. So for example, my forge here, it was completely empty. Workbench didn't have nothing in it, and these boxes and the hatches are kind of like not really yours. So I can open and close them because they're unlocked, but if I hold down the E button, I don't get that option to lock them or add a password. So when you import your base, you're going to have to get rid of these hatches here and also your boxes. So nothing from your box will be imported as well. So when you come into the new wipe or when you copy and paste your base, you're obviously not going to be able to dupe and just copy and paste all your level 6 high-end gear items. Or when you come into the new wipe on the new map, if you're importing your base from the previous wipe, you're not going to start with all your level 6 gear. You get your main base blocks and any workbenches that you had. And it is as simple as that. As you can notice, I've just seen here, even though I went from going from the green biome into the snow biome, I still have snow, but I certainly did import the green biome's grass with me. And also, as you can see at the back, my original base had a bit of a mound behind it, and I've imported that part of the ground with it, so I can just level that out with an auger, no problem. Very easy and simple way to copy paste your base or import export it from one wipe to the next. Now, what if you've got multiple land claim blocks? What if you've got a skyscraper of a base, or you want to build a skyscraper of a base, or you've got something at bedrock, or it's going to be 4 land claim blocks wide or something like this? How do you do that? Well, I think the 4 land claim blocks wide, so if you've got a massive square like one here, one here, one here, that's fairly simple for you guys to work out. And you can have 4 saves. Now, saving is absolutely free. It doesn't cost you anything, but the import does, because we don't want people just copy, pasting, and spamming their base everywhere. It costs you salty coins. Now, what are salty coins? Well, it's an in-game currency that's unique to salty zombies, and you get 1 salty coin for every zombie you kill. You get 1 salty coin for every minute you play on the server, and you get a bunch of salty coins for every time you vote on the 7 Days to Die voting website, which we're usually ranked number 1 at most of the time. And there's other ways in which you can earn salty coins. Like, for example, we have a bit of a gambling mini game that you can do called Deadpool, where everyone bets on who's going to die next by a zombie. This is a great one that the community loves to do on Horde nights. Who will be the first one to die on Horde night? It's cost 100 salty coins to make the bet, and all the money is put into a pool, and whoever wins gets all the money. Or if multiple people win, it's automatically divided and distributed to the winners. And there's lots of cool little mini games and ways in which you can earn salty coins as well. But now let's teach you how to import export, say, a tower, a really tall building using multiple land claim blocks. So let me build something real quick to demonstrate how to do that. Okay, so this is the tower that I have made to demonstrate how you can import and export your base if it is tall and you're using multiple land claim blocks stacked on top of one another. And you can see I have aligned the land claim blocks. So this is the top one, this is the bottom one, perfectly here. So one is just on top of the other, not overlapping anyway, which wouldn't technically be a problem if they did. But if you want to be efficient, it just takes a little bit of maths, because for those of you who don't know, land claim blocks are usually odd numbers. So for example, the default land claim box size is 41. So what that means is the one I put down is the land claim block, and then there's going to be 20 blocks covered over to the east, north, west, and south. So 20 on the south, 20 in the north, 1 in the middle. That makes the 41. Now on our Salty Zombies server, it's 31. It's a little bit smaller. So technically what that means is the moment I put the land claim block down, over to the north, south, east, and west would be 15 each side that is covered by the land claim block. And as I mentioned earlier before, when we do the import exporting command, it will save the land claim block's height as well. So again, for example, it will not cover anything above that green line. And if I had a gap, a 1 block gap in between the first land claim block, then a space, and then a second land claim block area, when I import it, it would be a problem. It wouldn't take the one missing row in the middle. So do be precise when you do something like this. Take some time to work it out. So let's give this a go. Let me go down to the bottom and do my first save. Again, got to be on the land claim block. So base export, and I'm just going to call it 1 again. So obviously when you design your base, you want to make sure that you can have the land claim block, you can stand on top of it. If you design your base and you put a lot of blocks, or you put it in the middle of a pillar that you cannot reach, then when it comes to importing and exporting your base, you're not going to be able to get to the actual land claim block to stand on it and run these commands. What's this one? Base export. I'm just going to call this number 2, and that should have saved. Okay, perfect. Base number 2 exported successfully. Now let's find a place in which I can paste this base or import it. I think, yeah, here's just fine. So if I remember correctly, the land claim block at the bottom was countersunk by 1. So let me just put a land claim block here. And then I stand on the land claim block, and I'm going to put base import 1. And that should give me the bottom part of the tower that I've made over there. Oh. And there it is. Now it's giving me back my land claim block, so let me throw that back in there, get those green lines going again. Let me just double check. Yep, here it is. Now I've just got to do the second one. Now, as I mentioned before, the land claim blocks are 31 by 31. So can you guess how high I have to do the second land claim block? If your answer is 15, then you're right. So I have to node pole up 15 blocks, and then on the 16th block, I have to put my land claim block down. So let's do that. That's number 1. And 15. All right, so I'm going to throw the 16th one down, and also you want it in alignment. So if I put my land claim block down here, it's going to import the tower too far over to the left. So I've got to go 2 blocks in. Now you can crouch and you can just do the blocks like this, but this is going to take too long. So I'm just going to go in God mode just for demonstration purposes. And make sure that's square in the middle and lined up perfectly with that block down there. Of course it is. Hopefully it doesn't collapse on me. No, good. And then I'm going to do the import of base 2. So base import 2, no rotation or anything again, so leaving it blank, and let's see how that works. Moment of truth. Here we go. Do I manage to perfectly align up the second part of my tower? Oh, and I do. And I also gracefully fall to the floor. So that's all lined up nicely. Again, I put my land claim block back into my inventory. Let's bring that up here, and let's just put the other one back down because I want to see if I aligned it right as well. Let's turn the green lights on, and would you look at that? See, just as I wanted it. Cool. Now you're also probably thinking, well, actually, I could probably just copy paste that. So if I wanted to make this tower taller without having to build and get a bunch more cement or steel and carry on building up and up and up, you could technically node pole up another 15 blocks, and on the 16th one, put a third land claim block and do again base import 2. And you're literally kind of saving yourself on building time and materials, and import the second part of your tower again on top of the second part of it, creating a third part and an even taller tower. You can do it that way if you wish. So I really hope that made sense. It made sense to me, but I'm not the best at explaining things, so I do really hope you got that and you enjoy it. I do have an article below that will have all the information and the commands, and if we update anything or improve on the commands or change the price, all the information will be in that article. And if you're looking to join a great 7 Days DayZ community on some kick-ass servers, we do have them in Asia, Europe, and the USA. We have lots of dedicated servers all over the world, so it's guaranteed to find a server with low ping, low latency near you. So I hope to see you playing, and if you have any questions, please join the Discord. Links for that are in the description below as well. And until next time, don't be salty.